barrel motif this time since we ended Skyfall with it. You know, because Franz Oberhauser is dead, but Blofeld is alive. Tell me you're a Bond villain just by the color of your attire and placement in the frame. Now this is a fun Bond entrance. And while the costume fits with the Dia de los Muertos parade, the top hat and skull feel like an homage to Live and Let Die's Baron Samedi. And the Bond character Baron Samedi was based off the Loa of the same name from the Haitian voodoo religion. That Baron Samedi is apparently known for his debauchery and love of the drink, so Bond's kind of guy. But don't think you can hide those baby blues from me.
Where are you going?
I won't be long.
Not even Escobar would have bailed on Valeria like that. But I love that she thought she was watching him undress for some Bond girl time, but he was just getting parkour suit ready. Parkour ready, I said. Parkour, oh, forget it. I counted only one obvious cut, maybe one more here or there, in this awesome 5-minute one-shot opening. It adds such an interesting energy to the film, and you may not even realize it's continuous until it's been several minutes. Humanizing Bond with a mistake while also setting up how much of a screw-up this Mexico City mission will be. Weak sconce, but sturdy couch. Lets us know up front that this Bond film might be a little bit more fun and a little less realistic than some of the other Craig Bonds. Just a little bit. Floating dancers. And fun fact, this parade is fake. Mexico City doesn't do a Day of the Dead parade. They made it up for Spectre. That is, until after the movie. Now they do it because Bond made it look so fun. This helicopter scene gets both lots of love and lots of hate online. I think it's a totally bonkers, over-the-top set piece, and honestly, isn't it at least one of the reasons we're all watching Bond movies? Helicopter barrel rolls, man, come on. Imagine playing Monica Bellucci's husband, but not getting a single scene with her. Brutal. Anyway, cool death. Pulling up the last second is the most Bond thing he's done yet, thus his theme. And he's just taking it, it's his now, it's Bond's chopper. Skyfall had a whole water thing to start, and so they thought, hey, why not fire? Alright, hentai-themed opening credits, but Sam Smith is bringing the notes. Yeah, I know Radiohead had songs rejected for this film, and yeah, they're both great, but the studio went with Sam Smith, and they are crushing it. Dame Judi Dench is always a win, but how absolutely dare you, Spectre? How absolutely dare you bring M's face into focus only enough to recognize her and then blur it away? We got plenty of Lashif, plenty of Silva's creepy mug. Awesome imagery, and honestly, if Blofeld turned out to be a giant evil octopus, or better yet, Cthulhu, this would probably be my favorite movie of all time. Ha! Octopus gun shoots ink bullets. I'm with you, Spectre. But nope on the tentacle iris. What? Hot Moriarty Priest is in this? How did I not remember that? He better not be a bad guy.
Suppose we should call you C now?
No. Max, please.
No, I think I'll call you C. C.
That's just bully behavior, James. You're lucky he does turn out to be a bad guy.
Well, my door is always open, 007, for my employees.
Getting tense in here or what? I sort of like that they set up C similarly antagonistically as Mallory at first to keep us guessing for a bit. Oh, M's dog.
Have you just moved in?
No.
Well, I like what you've done with the place.
Money Buddy's got jokes. Ah, there's my lady. Dame Judi Dench is always a win.
She wasn't gonna let death get in the way of her job.
And he misses his boss / mom / Did we ever decide if they hooked up? After M's death, it's nice to see that these two are almost friends at this point. Adult friendships can be hard to maintain, yo. And they have a little ways to go. Bond only holds hands with BFFs. Love the childlike joy Bond has looking at this gun. I wonder how much Q has augmented it. Because it's an AUG A3. No, that's fine. Figured I'd take a shot at it, but I don't want to put too much stock in firearm puns. And just like that, James Bond was drafted into the Tomorrow War.
You see those readouts?
Bond's first data point is alcohol content.
Oh, one word of warning. The alarm is rather loud, if you know what I mean.
I absolutely did not, which is proof that I'd never make it as a 00. I thought Q was speaking literally and that the watch has a really loud alarm, not like a bomb. Still love a good Bond gadget.
I believe I said bring it back in one piece, not bring back one piece.
Paddington's got jokes.
I'll send you a postcard.
Please don't.
Okay, first Bond made a comment about postcards in Skyfall, and now this? I'm starting to think Bond is just really into sending people postcards and it's like an in-office joke that everyone hates it.
Oh.
Hey, Casino Royale Craig Bond wouldn't have even left a bottle, so personal growth. Blofeld is standing in a similar pattern to his octopus sigil. You can even see it in Bond's sunglasses. And that rack focus from the widow to the back of Blofeld's head. Love it. Thomas Newman, you old scamp, bringing back that motif from Skyfall, called Skyfall, and weaving it into the Eternal City here to help our brains tie the back of this guy's head to both Silva and M1.0's death. Bond really puts the spy in unspy-like. Bond is out of F's to give. This translates to something like, for he brings rest to those he has chosen, which, you know, she thinks she's about to die, so that checks out why she'd be playing Nishi Dominus. And this whole doom walk by Persephone. We're worried about the first henchman, but by the time the second one shows up, it's clear that she knows they're behind her and she's about to die and she doesn't care. Ooh, that's a fun camera slide to reveal her savior.
What a lovely view.
That line, that suit, those dope gloves. This man is smooth.
You killed him, my husband.
He was an assassin. Trust me, he won't take it personally.
Appropriate reaction, I'd say Bond earned that one. Monica Bellucci was turned down for a role in Tomorrow Never Dies, leading Pierce Brosnan to call the casting department fools. And he's not wrong. She's a great actor while being distractingly attractive and ageless. So while this is kind of a weird, quick hookup, Monica Bellucci is always a win. This is probably just some road in Rome that is absolutely gorgeous to drive on IRL with each light illuminating its own tree, but well-played location scout for finding it and also cinematographer for shooting it from above like this. It's stunning. And hey, it's Nolan's guy, Van Hoytema. Can't quite explain it, but the scene gives me some real Fidelio vibes. If you know, you know. This is such a stupid flex, but it absolutely tells us everything we need to know about Blofeld. And this should be the cheesiest thing ever, but somehow Blofeld, shrouded in unexplainable darkness like this, works to build anticipation even though we know who he is. I know he is a massive, scary-looking dude, but I can't help but have a soft spot for Dave Bautista. He's just so likable as Drax, Sapper, Stoop. It's hard for me to think of him as a bad guy. Oh my god, he just jammed his thumbs in that guy's eyes. Is he just Jaws but on his thumbnails? Is he nails? Forget everything I said, Bautista is super menacing. Ooh, keeping that future scarred eye in the shadows.
Welcome, James.
Christoph Waltz. What an actor. I'm not sure he can ever outdo his performance as Chudnovsky, but I'm glad to watch him try.
Ciao, Mickey Mouse.
Ha! Goon callback. Well done.
Sono Topolino. E tu chi saresti?
Love that Blofeld is already out the door, about to turn the corner before the goon hits the deck. Hardcore parkour, knee-breaking parkour. I'm not really a car guy, but I sure do know Bond has a silver one and Hinks has more of an orangey bronze one, and they're both driving very fast. Just a reminder, hey, we know the last movie kind of bummed everyone out and took itself pretty seriously, so here's some physical humor to remind you that Bond movies can be fun.
Who was that?
No, it wasn't.
It's just a friend.
At this time of night?
Somehow even jealousy is a flattering shade on you, Bondy baby.
A man called Franz Oberhauser. He's got...
The Bond has relatively calm conversations while in the midst of a chase trope in Craig Bonds is honestly one of my favorites they keep coming back to.
Give me something.
That bunch should probably just say rule of cool. Smoothest parachute landing ever.
Good evening.
Politeness. This tracks for a character referred to as the Pale King. It'd be pretty weird if he just lived in a studio apartment next to a Dunkies outside Boston. Furthermore, give me that snowy cabin in the mountains of Austria. Two crows, what are you guys doing here? Anyone else getting some Mr. Glass meets Ozymandias vibes here? You feeling it, Mr. White?
I always knew death would wear a familiar face, but not yours.
Mr. White has always regarded Bond as a mindless grunt who has no idea what's going on, so it's pretty on character for him to all but say it to his face. If my Queen's Gambit memory is serving me, I'm pretty sure Bond just put the ring down on the White King square? Pale King?
You grew a conscience.
Our game is our game. This, women, children.
Even high-ranking members of international crime syndicates have a line. Ethics win.
You're a kite dancing in a hurricane, Mr. Bond.
You ever get the feeling a line was specifically written to sound awesome in the trailer? Like this one?
I think you're just getting started.
Well, this one too, and it's such a good line. He's not even trying to dunk on Bond anymore, he's just spitting facts.
A license to kill is also a license not to kill.
You've been dropping eaves on Bond and Q's conversations, Em? No, Two Crows, there's a better way! Has there ever been a more Bond building that isn't even a layer? Look, walking out of Ocean Bond is great. Love Tux Bond, even Dirty Desert Traverser Bond. But Snow Bond will always be my favorite. Start getting some tactile necks.
I hope you don't mind. The view can be distracting.
I hadn't noticed.
A look that says, oh good, a sarcastic bro who's already inappropriately flirting. I bet he'll be an open book for therapy.
Vodka martini, shaken, not stirred.
All right, well, he's coming right out with it. I guess after this one last movie, he's changed his mind about Vesper Martinis.
I really, really hate you right now.
Thank you, Q.
I feel like you can see Bond actually starting to like Paddington more after he says he hates him, which somehow makes me like Bond more? This is also confusing. And yeah, I'm gonna keep calling him Paddington. I'm sorry, Ben. Your voice is just too buttery for a human.
I really, really hate you right now.
No escape.
The absolute disrespect. I love it. I haven't seen a move that badass since Tommy Lee Jones did it to that trapper.
No more snares on wolves, guys.
But to be fair, he's doing these guys a favor. Badass good girl. Ha, these two have to stop meeting like this. Sciarra, Silva, Le Chiffre, Green? Good for you guys, even acknowledging Quantum of Solace. And then Bond chased the SUVs on the snowy road with a plane is the type of thing you expect of more Bond, or Brosnan Bond, but you know, the way they keep cutting to Madeline's disbelief makes it work. Yep, there it is, the reason we're watching this.
Did it cross your mind that you led them to me?
Solid point, and it appears that it hadn't.
I'm your best chance of staying alive.
Yeah, you said that to Lucia, and we haven't checked in on her.
I've called an American friend of mine, Felix. We'll contact his embassy, get you out of here.
Let's check in. Felix?
Sorry.
What the crap, Felix? All I can think is, I hope his nipples are okay.
I have sensitive nipples.
Hello.
Enchanted.
Okay, I know Swan and Bond end up together and they're maybe married or whatever, but where are my Q and Swan shippers? They're a little more age appropriate, and I feel like they're vibing here. Quan. James, go find Lucia, seriously. We know he's brave, but taking a swig of unlabeled mystery booze hidden in a wall takes next level courage.
Don't think for one moment. This is where I fall into your arms.
Yeah, you're not quite blue enough, Bond?
I said you.
Haha, but Silva, clearly. What was I saying about next level courage? Look, I'm not saying I didn't put my fist through some drywall in my youth, but you'd think Bond would know better. Hit one stud and your arm is in a cast for the rest of the film.
You're a cocky little bastard, aren't you?
I'll take that as a compliment.
I wouldn't.
Even if I didn't know this dude was Voldemort, I can't imagine looking Rafe in the eyes and questioning whether he could kill me with a backhand slap. It's fun that she's already comfortable with a gun. Just because you hate them doesn't mean you've never used one.
I don't have to teach you anything, do I?
Although a little barrel direction discipline might not hurt.
He's on his own.
Craig Bond is on his own this time, not because M is sick of his shenanigans, tomfoolery, or even ballyhoo, but because he trusts Bond and knows that the best way to help him is to leave him alone.
Vodka martini. Dirty.
Make that two.
I guess he's really getting over Vesper.
Is this really what you want? Living in the shadows?
I don't stop to think about it.
What would happen if you did?
Stop.
Yes.
I don't know.
This is so telling of who Craig Bond is. He really has no idea who he is outside of being 007. And even though it's an unintentionally honest moment from him buried under flirting, it's the only way he can truly be honest. Just spectator here, but I'm gonna go out on a limb and say he probably shouldn't be so flippant about therapy. What a brutal start to this fight. No score, and Bond is clearly outstrengthed. That's not a word. Drax is strong. So Daniel Craig said he actually broke Dave Bautista's nose on a punch, and I'm gonna say it was that one. So, realism? Also, apparently one of the times Craig gets thrown in this fight, he wrecked his anterior cruciate ligament, which is smart people talk for knee. I'm gonna say it was this one, or maybe this one? Or, you know, this one. They keep talking about knowing when not to pull the trigger, and sometimes you need to know when not to fight and instead run. Also comeuppance.
What do we do now?
Well, I mean, the writing's on the wall there, Madeline. Life and death situations will do that to you. What in the world is that tie? Whatever, I love the desert attire. His tan suit, her white kit. She wears white a lot, actually. They just always look so good. Yes, I'm not gonna lie, it's been a while since we've gotten a true-to-form villain lair, and middle of a desert inside a crater is doing it for me. Now Green's water plot makes even more sense. Seems inefficient to send water from Bolivia to Morocco, but what do I know? Sheesh, Bond, some might say you handed it to him on a silver platter. Hotel stay? Free. Picture of you with your dad? Free. New dress for drinks? Free. The knowledge that your captor's access to information means he knows your correct sizing? Creepy, I mean priceless.
Champagne?
Maybe later.
Whew, he's taking this very seriously.
Touch it. You can touch it if you want.
Generosity?
A huge, unstoppable force.
Except it did stop, didn't it? Right here.
Bond just volleying his bro's metaphor right back at him, laced with a threat no less. Game, set, match, Jim. Think anyone ever calls him Jim? Bond, Jim Bond, Jimmy Bond. They call me Jay.
I came to your home once to see your father.
You mean that time you were a Nazi? Speaking of nice clothes.
Or did you think it was coincidence that all the women in your life ended up dead?
It's almost like Sam Mendes time traveled and saw how upset I was about that and tried to lampshade it here. Thanks, Sam. I appreciate it.
No, turn this off.
We knew Lando was awful, but showing someone a video of their parents' suicide is pretty heinous, even for a Bond villain. Mr. Bigglesworth. Even though they all denied it, we knew Waltz was Blofeld, but this reveal is such a great way to do it. While Waltz does confirm it soon, this is the moment, and it pays off. Look, this is really terrible, but easily the most evil part of Blofeld is how well he pulls off those high waters and loafers. Just criminal.
He soothed the wounds of the poor little blue-eyed orphan.
See, it's not just me that's obsessed with his baby blues.
The man you're talking to now is Ernst Stafford Blofeld.
Catchy name.
Confirmation. Still, we're sure it isn't Dougie Powers?
The needle finds the correct spot in the fusiform gyrus. You recognize no one.
Yeah, apparently you haven't been following Bond that closely. If it works, you'll forget the faces of all the women you lied to that then died, and all the people you've killed, including the innocent ones. Nice.
The daughter of an assassin. The only one who could have understood him.
Ha! Blofeld secretly ships Bond and Swan.
I love you.
I'd recognize you anywhere.
The power of love. It can even overcome medical procedures. What? You don't know that it can't? And yes, his face looks messed up. Continuity. There's something very, hey, I did that when playing GoldenEye satisfying with Bond swapping his enemy-acquired gun for the same gun. Bondsplosion. Also, anti-stormtrooper aim. I think we can all agree that the Czech Small Arms VZ-58 should be Bond's lifetime gun. He's always had good aim, but he's barely even looking half the time right now.
Let's go home.
Okay, he looks at the base and then he says his line. He knew he could get a one-liner in before the explosion. He's still trying to impress Madeline because he actually likes her. And he nailed it. It's super cool and she's super impressed.
It's not over yet.
Yeah, he's right. There goes Blowy.
Madeleine Swan.
Pleased to meet you.
Monsieur Gustave is still a gentleman when meeting a lady.
Q hacks into the system and stops it going online.
Won't be easy.
He'll find a way. He always does.
Is Bond admitting that Q knows what he's doing? James Bond and Paddington fighting Spectre together, saving the world and starting a relationship.
It's good to have you back, 007.
So?
Coming from Bond, that's practically a hug. James Bond and Mallory fighting Spectre together, saving the world and improving their relationship.
I can't go back to this life. And I'm not going to ask you to change.
One of the best examples of actual love in the entire series. Ooh, such a good momentum killer. The score is telling us our heroes are about to kick butt, but instead their butts get kicked. Love that it's feeling the pistol on his temple that gives him the confidence to act. Also, if you're ever zip-tied, that method for breaking them will work. Try to slam your elbows behind your back. What I mean is, yes sir. Leap of faith shadowing. Also, if you're wondering why the Chekhov's Ex Machina is there, exploded buildings are unstable. A chunk of debris the size of a golf ball could kill someone at that height. Plus, construction workers have to be in and out all the time. Looks like M had Tiago Rodriguez's name taken off the wall after all. I don't see Alec either, though.
Not a good feeling being watched, is it?
I'm telling you, Mallory has been watching Bond for a long time, stealing all his moves. Ah, foreshadowing. You know, because of the boat? Oh boy, tough crowd.
Then isn't that what M stands for? Moron.
Talk about the pot calling the guy who can't tell an empty Glock from a loaded Glock black.
And now we know what C stands for.
Clever. Crafty? Cunning? Ah, cretin. Although, you Brits have a different relationship with a particular work...
Careless.
Ah, yes, I guess that works too. Dame Judi Dench's always a win? He was gonna end it. Instead, he shot the Spectre logo into the glass.
I do hope that doesn't hurt too much.
Gnarly wound, and I don't hate that James is responsible for the iconic look.
Well, that's brothers for you. They always know which buttons to press.
Okay, so the bombs were there for the demolition.
Rigged for demolition in a week.
But otherwise, I gotta hand it to Blofeld with the targets, the pictures, and now the bulletproof glass? This guy pulled an elaborate show together quick for his arch nemesis. Getting a real Lego Batman Joker vibe. Who needs who, you know? Oh boy, I'm seeing this twice. I guess I'll have to use it now. Wow, that was a quick fight. Told you not to mess with the Red Dragon. I guess C stands for comeuppance. Trust. There we go, Bond's PPK. It's like the Mjolnir of the Bond CU. There's a badass good guy. Blofeld doesn't break eye contact and he doesn't look angry. It's almost like he can see what Bond can't, that Bond will never be free until he dies. But Bond is too busy to time right now. He doesn't have the die. I guess you could say he's got no duration to not be alive. Two roads diverged in a wood and I took the one less murdered by.
I've got something better to do.
But in case it wasn't obvious, this is also love. She said she wouldn't ask him to change but couldn't be with an assassin, so he changed to be with her. You better hope your PPK has the same powers as Mjolnir. Hugging and love.
There's just one thing I need.
A hug from your best friend Paddington? James Bond and Paddington. Oh, it's the car. Well, that's neat too. It's a cool car. I mean, yep. Even the movie uses Bond's nickname for Max. Long, slow, boring, not enough action, obvious twists, too Bond, not enough new Bond. 17-year age gap. Okay, that last one. But look, she's 30. After 30, we're all the same age. Unless you were once their teacher, in which case gross power dynamic, don't do that. But otherwise, I don't know, I like a slow plotting spy movie. I definitely have my issues with it, but honestly my biggest issue is the same exact issue I had with Casino Royale, which is still my favorite. Our lead love romance goes from subsurface hate to flirty combativeness to trauma to eternal burning love just way too fast. You know me, I like to believe what the movie is telling me whenever I can, but both of these movies legit flipped a switch that made Vesper and Madeline truly madly deeply in love with Bond. Savage Garden in love, I tell you. I like Spectre as the wrap-up to everything that's come before, while also setting up the potential future or just the franchise in general. It sours a little when you realize that Quantum was just a filler before they got the rights to use Spectre, but they tied all together really well for me. Blofeld was just messing with James, trying to make him feel as much pain as possible while staying in the shadows. The look on his face when he's telling James sells it.
It's always been me, the author of all your pain.
It's not the smoothest or cleanest plot for a Bond movie, but for me the performances more than make up for it. Blofeld is to Craig Bond what Khan was to Pinekirk. A meaningless name in universe, but a fun nod to the audience. And that's okay, controversial I know, but I think it's okay to put things in movies that people will like. I do kinda wish Bond had said, "What? Is your name supposed to mean something to me? Why'd you say it all weird?" And then wink at the camera. But you're just never gonna upset me by having Christoph Waltz lick the scenery. That's right, chewing is beneath him. Léa Seydoux' Madeline isn't the most thoroughly utilized Bond girl, but that lends to her being one of the more mysterious ones? That came out like a complaint. I really like her was my point, and she doesn't lack agency so much as her motivations aren't always apparent. Léa Seydoux is fantastic, that's the takeaway. I kind of forgot that Dave Bautista did Spectre after Guardians. He's really the other standout, which is impressive since I think he has one line? He's just an imposing presence all around. I guess I get why people hate this movie, I just don't. It's kind of a thing. And it's the last Bond before I see No Time to Die, and these movies are another series that I'm gonna miss thinking about for weeks. Doing the Mission Impossibles gave me a similar feeling. I think I just really like spy movies. Who would have thought? I'm taking next week off, or this week, depending on when this goes up, it's down to the wire. And then the week after, another relevant to theaters movie that's a tad older.
I can protect her if you tell me where he is. I can keep her alive.
Yeah.